Sorry about that.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Bridging the Gap between men and women. I'm your host, Ramont Williams. We have some selected guests tonight. And if you will, ladies, let's start with you first. Introduce yourself and tell me where you're from. And then we'll go with the young
Hi,
man.
my name is LaShonda Woods, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hi, I'm Melissa from California. Oh, this is gonna work.
Justin.
Justin, I'm from the Bay Area, California.
All right. And welcome everyone to the show. We got another kind of live topic tonight. So hopefully we'll get people to tune in and come on board. So I like to always start the show off with the women and get their perspectives first, just a common courtesy that I try to afford them that, since a lot of people say that we don't have any chivalry anymore. So
Go ahead, LaShonda.
So today's topic is what's the pros and cons of relationships and marriage. So I believe, LaShonda, you're engaged to get married, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And you're Melissa, you're single?
Yes, I'm single.
Okay.
I'm 42.
Okay. And you, Justin, you're single?
I'm single, 38.
Okay. All right, LaShonda, let's start with you, please.
The pros and cons of a relationship or marriage. I think the pros are, some good things. You won't be lonely, right? But then there is some cons to it where people are not being honest in the relationship and they have other situationships. So
What
pick
does
and
that mean?
choose. Situationships where they have side pieces on the side. And and then the thing about it is you think you're in a relationship with them, and then your situation is not a relationship, it's a situationship. It's either they don't have a place to stay, so they stand with you and acting like you're in a relationship, stuff like that.
Is that an actual word or that's some type of ebonics?
It's an ebonics,
I
but
kind of
it needs to
figured.
go on to be a word because there's a lot of that out there.
I guess. So what about you, Melissa?
I think they call those homosexuals, the ones that live with you, and they think they want to, they want you to believe that they're in a relationship. But some of the pros would be splitting the money, like having more financial freedom, I guess.
Yes.
And one of the cons would probably be that men and women are not the same. So when we communicate very differently. So that would be a con because we have to relearn how to communicate with each other.
Okay. Let's jump down here to Justin. So what do you think some of the pros and cons of a relationship or marriage are, Justin?
Pros, you get to have somebody to be with when you're going through troubles or like I never really thought when you get to have somebody like
Sorry about that.
to go.
I think everybody's having kind of like an internet or Wi-Fi issue tonight, huh?
No, just me. Maybe. Oh wait, Justin, do you have a Wi-Fi issue?
No, I'm on my hotspot.
How about you, Ramont? What do you think a pro con would be?
Me?
No, well, Ramont, because Justin. Did you get to finish the con?
I didn't say the con. The cons will probably be the cons of a relationship is you're dealing with two different types of personalities and different dynamics. You have to learn each other and learn how to communicate and compromise. Some people aren't willing to do that. Some people can be selfish and want you to change, but not willing to change for the betterment of the relationship.
Let me ask you all something. When it comes to relationships, because that's what this podcast is based upon, relationships. Do you do any research in reference to relationships on social media, Google, or any other academic platform?
Yeah, definitely all the time. Mostly
And
to
what-
prove my
I'm
point.
gonna say no. I don't.
I really don't. I don't look for it, but it might come up in my feed.
I do, because there's a lot of things that like happen, like things that like issues that come up. Like I want an answer, a right answer. So I go and look for different resources, and to try to get different sides of the perspectives about the issue, so that I can, put it together and try to come up with the best answer.
So
I don't do the looking up, because other people's situation is not pertaining to what's going on with me and the relationship I'm in.
So I've been knowing you for a great deal of time, Lashana, almost 30 years. And when you speak on your relationship, unlike a lot of women that I speak to, you speak with a lot of confidence, with a lot of surety, and that's commendable. And the reason I say that's commendable, because you seem like you and this guy who I haven't met yet have a type of open relationship where you talk about things that will be conducive, not just going through the motions and assume that we're going to have the house on the hill with the white picket fence and little dog and a couple of kids running around. So I like that. With that, and I'm pretty sure it took you some time to get to this plateau. So what advice would you give to everybody on the panel, as well as anyone that may come across this reel at a later date, when it comes to the pros of a productive relationship?
Well, the pros to a productive relationship, I would say the main key thing is communication. Everybody say communication, but a lot of people, they hear communication, but then in their relationship, they don't use the communication. Me and him, we always like sit down and talk with each other, and we may even be face to face, like almost lip to lip. When we talk, it's an intimate moment, because we're talking about, what's going to help us and what's not going to help us. So the pros is, if you have a open communication with that person, life will be happy. You know how they say happy wife, happy life, or whatever. But it could be for both partners. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be just one. It's not going to be one-sided. If you keep everything, everybody's happy, because if he come to me and he say, well, I don't like what you did, yesterday or whatever. And then we're going to sit there and talk about what I did yesterday, because maybe it's something that I don't know that is, rubbing him the wrong way. Then if I love him, and that's only if I love him, I'm going to change that situation. But if people just in it just to say they with somebody, they're not going to change it if they don't really love that person. And if you love that person, you're going to change it, because, you know what I'm saying, we became friends first, and you don't want to hurt your friend. So you're going to fix those different things. But a lot of things in a relationship, a lot of times the reason why it don't go well is because with men, I can say that, they want the woman with the soft spoken, and they want the woman that's going to be nurturing and all of that. But when they try to force it, it's not going to work. See, the way you love a woman, that's going to make her be that loving person, because then she can trust you. She can put those pants off, and she can just keep that skirt. and then she's gonna be that loving person that you want her to be. But if you just tell her, oh, I want you to be this, I want you to be that, that's not gonna work. So the pros to it is communication.
Well, let me ask you this. With some of the discussions we've had over the months on this show in reference to women that in no particular ethnicity, at first, I believe that it was more so Black women than it were any other race of women, but I've come to find out that that's not true. So with the mindset of women, we're speaking about women in general with no specific ethnicity. Why do you think?
Sorry about that, guys.
Why do you think that women think that there's no hope in the future to be in a productive relationship with a man, or that all men are full of BS, that all men have some ulterior motives, that all men don't want to be men, or the list goes on and on and on. So why do you think a lot of women, not the majority, a lot of women believe this?
Well, okay, well, I can't really speak on like with everybody else, but me, it was like, when you meet somebody, you think things is gonna go, the norm. And I've come to find out that the norm is not really the norm anymore. The norm to me is, because I watch my mom and dad. My dad would get up and go to work, and I'm gonna back it up. My mom and dad had me and my twin sister at a young age, right? My dad dropped out of school at 17 to go to work to get a house so we all can live in the same house, because he didn't want another man. He told me on his deathbed he didn't want another man raising us and, playing that daddy role. He wanted to be the daddy because he was the daddy. So the norm to me was the man get up and go to work. And also, my mom also went to work. But my dad's main focus was being the provider, and my mom was being the helpmate. Now, today's role is usually, because I was in a relationship where I went to work and the guy was at home. And, that right there, that's not going to work. So the thing about it is, you want a person that's going to help you move forward in life, not somebody that's going to be like dead weight. And so when I was meeting all of that, that just made it seem like it was just hopeless out there, because you just kept meeting the same ones. And you will see over the picket fence, you'll see a relationship that's going far because both partners know their roles. But when I was meeting the people, it was just like, I met some few, that, had their stuff together or whatever, but we just didn't make it to move forward, or whatever. But yeah.
So what about you, Justin?
What was the initial question again?
Basically, we're comparing modern day thought process of women as opposed to traditional. The way LaShonda explained was more geared towards traditional women. Her mom, she used her mom and father as an example. Her father was the provider. Her mom was the nurturing.
I'll try to fix that.
Hey, Melissa, why don't you put your phone on a towel or something so it'll quit sliding?
As soon as you buy me one, I will do it. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. Sorry.
You don't have no towel in the house?
I don't really know what you're asking, what you're suggesting. I'm sorry. Go ahead. It'll stay now.
But she used that example as opposed to how women think today when the question have been posed on numerous of podcasts, and even I pose this question in the industry that I work in, because I meet people from all around the world. And it's like, would you be in a relationship, in a 50-50 relationship? And a lot of women don't believe in 50-50. They believe that a man's role is to come in, and I think they got the word provider twisted. in this modern perspective, and they think that their money is their money, your money is their money. So how do you kind of decipher through all this rhetoric?
I think, in California, it's you gotta have to have a really good job to be the sole provider in a household, and most people, they have somebody else to help with bills and rent or mortgage, because it's hard out here. It's a different time, different economy than our parents had. And like it could be you could find somebody who could do all that, but when somebody given that type of power over you, like if they're the only breadwinner and the only person making money, if you give them the opportunity, some people, if you give them the opportunity that they're the only one feeding you, that you give them the opportunity to starve you as well. So it's good to have that balance in 50-50 with bills, or like even like maybe 30-70 or whatever you could bring to the table. That's my opinion on it.
What about you, Melissa?
I think in a traditional home, you can provide still. You can have the both men and women contributing, but we can have like a home where the woman is still acting as a woman and the man is still acting like a man. I don't think there should be any issue with that, unless they have really strong-minded women, like that need like to feel like they're like equal to the man. But I don't think there's a problem. Like there should be a problem with that. But yeah.
So let me ask you and LaShonda this, because this is more or less like a gender question. Do you think women and men are equal?
Not in this world.
No, I don't.
Why not?
Biologically,
Because, well, okay, I say, it all depends on what it is that we talking about when we talk about equal.
well, in this world, like the public sees men as more prestigious than women. Like they get the more say. They've always had more say than women. So I just kind of give it like that. Like look at it like that.
I look at it like the man is the leader, right? And not that I'm following behind you, because I am your helpmate. But as the leader, you know what I'm saying, you got more responsibility.
I think a little differently. Like I think the man has to be in the front because everyone respects the man more, and the woman has equal, if not more, like work to do in the background.
Well, it's been said, an argument from the female perspective, that women are just as equal to men, if not greater, because they're doing things on their own. They're getting more college degrees, which statistics prove that. They're being promoted faster and higher in businesses than men are. Statistics prove that. But I think when it comes to the household duties, now this is where my opinion sets me apart from other people's. When I hear women say that, I have this type of education, I make this type of money, I have this type of position, so why should I come home, cook, clean, do this and do this and do that? So I feel like this, and I think this is one of the things that caused a problem in my marriage. Was my wife was a traditional woman. She didn't believe that I should do laundry and wash dishes and fold clothes, and that's just the way I was raised, and it caused conflict in our relationship. Even though I tried to explain and stay out of her way and said, well, okay, babe, I'm gonna let you do your thing. It was the mindset. And even as you alluded to, LaShonda, about the communication, I think oftentimes people use that word communication so loosely, like they do every other word that
Like I
has
love you.
so many other different definitions, because they truly don't understand that when you communicate, there has to be a balance, as Justin was saying. So I didn't want her to feel that she had the power over me to some degree, that what she felt all the domesticated thing was her job, because that's not the way I was raised. As a man, I'm going to provide and help my woman in the house. That's because what I feel comfortable doing. Now, I know it's a lot of men don't do that. They take their nasty drawers off, throw them over in the corner, socks off over here,
And they standing up.
yeah, that's just like that, and they have that Neanderthal mindset where they believe that it's really a woman's role to cater to them, and I don't believe that. I think that a woman's role, as the Bible says, is to be our helpmate. Now, with that being said, that don't mean that she's to be a doormat, to be walked on, to be abused, to be used. That's not what that means. But I find it so often today that people take everything, situation, words, you name it, and they twist it. They modify it to fit them, their perspectives, and it makes things a lot of chaotic. But I think that when it comes to relationships, most people, as you said, LaShonda, are in situationships. They're not even in relationships. And when it comes to marriage, we know based on statistics that marriage has really no value to a lot of people today. When people are talking about creating and taking vows, usually based on statistics, this is not my opinion, this is based on statistics, most people have ulterior motives involved. Now, when you take the pros with the woman, okay, if a man is financially stable, then that means she get the luxuries of whatever his finances is. She drives nice cars, she get to live in a nice home, she get credit cards and blah blah blah. On the flip side of that, the cons would be is who knows what's really going through her mind. She may be just like so many other that we've seen in social media and in the media, how they marry and have babies by men just for the sole purpose of leaving whenever they choose to, not justifiably, but just because they say, I'm done, I'm tired, I want to move on, the grass is green over on this side, and then they take the man for half of what he's worked for. Now, I don't know how true this is, but someone just told me that Donald Trump, why he's making all these executive orders, is trying to do something where when women get married to men, especially high valued men, that whatever they come into, they don't get afforded that lifestyle. We're gonna give you the basics to keep you going. The rest is on you. Now, if there's children involved, then okay, that man is responsible for those kids. But as far as making sure you drive Lamborghini, stay up in the penthouse in New York and all that, I think all that should be done away with, because I think women are abusing that. They're abusing the system. I really do. And on the flip side of that, you have some men that's getting paid from women, and I think they're abusing it too. Because how do you need $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 a month to survive? Seriously.
How many people are getting that much money? It's not that many people, are they?
The percentage is small, yes. But I'm saying, you think about it. If we were to pull up the statistics right now, it says that women file divorce at a rate 3 times more than men.
Yeah.
Okay.
And It also says that women who graduate college are more likely to get divorced, right? And women are graduating college at a higher rate because they're getting more benefits for going to college. They get more scholarships. They get more there's more advancement for opportunities for advancement in college for women than there are for men. And yeah, so
Yeah.
it's
But
very
again,
fair for men.
I think when I got on this social media thing with this relationship thing, it was kind of mind blowing to me to see so many human beings think the way that they think, and particularly now, and I'm gonna talk about the men too. For the men to have this Neanderthal mindset that women are just doormats, that's mind blowing, because the most valuable thing that God has given man is a woman.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but a
Like
woman is
God made
not a woman if she's not in her true essence.
God didn't make us equal though. He made women for man, not the other way around.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people would refute you on that.
Really?
Yeah.
In the Bible, it says said that it was not good for man to be alone, so that's why he made her, Eve, right?
But okay, when you reference the Bible, okay, and I tell people this all the time, you have to keep in mind when you reference the Bible that everybody doesn't believe in God. Now we had that show, okay, so, and it's not to say that people will be disrespectful based on your belief system, but you kind of have to, when you conversate today, you have to kind of like weave in and out, because you don't know what a person believes until you say what you believe. And either they're going to be on board or it's going to be conflict. It's just that simple. So what do you think, Justin?
Sorry, I had to send a text out to my coworker. What was that?
Are women treated like doormats by men?
Some in some cases, yes. But in some cases the other way around.
Is more likely than not, right?
Yeah, we get it's a different generation now. Like the morals and values have eroded, definitely. And a lot of men, I've been victim to it. I've been treated poorly because of a woman didn't have the same morals and values that came before us. But some men treat women bad. Some men think that that have entitlement and that they're a way above, and women are just supposed to do and not speak up. But it goes both ways. It definitely does.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question right here, because you just said something that men don't want women to speak up. Give me some clarity on that when you say speak up. What do you mean?
Like, speak their opinion. They're supposed to be out of, like, some men think that women are just to be seen and not heard, that they don't have an opinion. I know some men who still think like that.
Okay, so when men think like that, okay, so why are they thinking that way? Is it because the women are, when you say opinion, this is what I'm trying to get clarity on, because yeah, you're supposed to respect a woman's opinion. That's a given. But what about some of the women that tries to emasculate men based on their financial and social status, what they've been through in the past? And I'm gonna give you a prime example. This is one thing that I hear so much from women, okay? You have women that's got multiple kids by multiple men, okay? Now they get back on the dating scene, And the first thing they tell men is one or two things. Before I have sex, you got to put a ring on it. Or they just saying, hey, you got to jump, you got to put on a bozo suit and you got to jump through hoops to get some of this cat. And I think realistically, it's kind of sad. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I feel this way. You have multiple kids, okay? And LaShonda, you already know where I'm going with this. You kept your heels up in the air like floating balloons, okay? Now all of a sudden you want to take on this chastity moral battle where you saying, in order for a man to acquire this that's been tainted, used, and abused, you couldn't even sell it at a Salvation Army market. Now some man have to come through and do all these prerequisites just to lay up with you, and it may not even be good.
Oh my gosh. Come on, Ramon. A woman has a right to change like the way she behaved, okay? Just like men decide to get married and settle down, why can't women decide to stop having sex like with everyone that they encounter?
So in the past,
Well, I mean, I think it's better.
It's a growth thing.
You know, than never come to a standard, because yeah, it's a benefit that, like, you know, ago. But I mean, sometimes, you know, it takes people a long time to get something, and then once you get it, then, you know, you trying to apply it. So I guess after having so many kids and so many things going bad, I guess they find like it, and they don't want anyone chasing their, you know, like chasing their tail, you know, keep having more kids. And I guess they come with a standard. Okay, from now on, what we're gonna do is we're gonna look for somebody that's gonna be a husband material instead of boyfriend material, because that's what they was doing in the beginning. They got all these kids. Now they got to take some responsibility and accountability. So therefore, now they can make the person that comes into their life, you know that all these kids, I need, you know, some help. Basically, they're gonna need some help with those kids. No, it's not their kids, the man's kids. But dealing with this woman that, you know, that she's a woman with, you know.
LaShonda, can you get in the spot where your reception is a little better, please? Because you're like staggering your conversation.
Going in and out.
Yeah.
Well, in this house, it has a reception problem, so I don't know.
I think having a lot of kids makes it a different like situation. I haven't had enough sex. I'm gonna always say that I haven't had enough sex in my life yet. So, but for even then, even if I wanted to not have sex, like just because I'm not a virgin doesn't mean I have to have sex.
That's my thing.
And just because women have had children after children after children doesn't mean that they can not decide, like, hey, I don't want to have kids after kids anymore. I don't want to be in that situation anymore. So I'm going to try to act like someone who, you know, deserves more respect and, you know, pull it back a little, you know? I don't know. It's obviously like you can't really do that when you have kids, but like, I don't know. You can't like down a woman for wanting to not have as much sex because she's had her fill.
No, that's not. I think you kind of miss my point. What I'm saying is, it's always good for a person to grow, and to change a lot of bad choices that they made in the past. But what I'm saying, and I'm gonna emphasize this, is when a woman put emphasis on you can't get none of this unless you do this, it becomes a prerequisite. No, that's not happening. And I think this is the reason a lot of men and women are in competition with each other, because it was once said that women control sex, okay, or the leading to sex, and men control relationships, which is true, because once women um, formulate that thought or that desire to give in to a man and become intimate, then the man is in control in most cases, not all cases. Because I know some women that's throwing down like Jesse James, and they're in control. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So what do you what
One of
what
the
do you
pros
think?
I think would be a relationship for the men. I guess would be the regular sex. I guess, and then so that would be a good reason why they should get into a relationship, or they could just have sex with a lot of other women who are not really like caring about that. There are a lot of women who don't care. So
So is sex a natural part of life, or is it something exceptional?
it's something part of life, but it's also exceptional.
How?
You shouldn't be doing it with just anyone. You should just, you should find your one person and then, perform it with that person. But the thing is, men are different in that regard. Like, they don't think the same way we do. We actually have to preserve our self, and they could just do what they want. That's what they've been doing the whole time. So
Well, that
because
doesn't make sense.
our value is lessened when we have more partners, and it is lessened when we have children before marriage or before we find someone.
What do you think about that, Justin?
There is a different what's it called, a double standard when it comes to that. And the best analogy I've heard was like if you put it if you have a key and it opens a lot of doors, that's a master key. And if you have a lock that gets unlocked by a lot of keys, that's just a shitty lock.
Oh,
Never heard that. I like that.
damn.
I
So
like that. I really do.
using that analogy, what would be the basis for it?
Be right back, guys.
Too many men
That
letting in,
men,
being let in. That's the shitty lock. So that's the
yeah, there's a double standard because like men, that we get it, that we have to. We can't just. Women can have sex with anybody they want to. We have to get accepted
Right.
to get that privilege.
Or you just need real good game. Women don't need any game.
Women don't need game. They could just, it's just how it is. They could just say, well, you want to go do this? And a lot of men in a relationship or not, they will say yes.
Right. So
It's like, but it's changing. That sex is more, like women are more promiscuous nowadays.
Women are behaving like men.
Yes.
so why do you think that is?
It's so many factors.
I think we're jealous of men.
Moral erosion on both parts, on both sides. Like we just having casual encounters and not with no feelings involved or just to get your carnal needs met.
well, you know what? Okay, so like I remember like on the other shows or whatever, it was said that, like a woman that have a lot of kids, she really can't be too choicy, basically, because she have all those kids and really don't know man really want to deal with a woman that have all those kids or have kids. So I guess at some point she had to, put her foot down and get stuff organized because all the other kids' fathers didn't stay. And so she got to start taking accountability because all she gonna do is keep having kids, and there's no role model for these kids, like a male role model because it keep being different keys being used. So So you got to start somewhere.
So let me ask you ladies this, Melissa and LaShonda.
Mhm.
What would be your suggestion as far as pros go with a relationship, starting a relationship today?
Go ahead, you first.
Well, you really have to really sit down with a person and really figure out where their mind at. Because see, you can have your mind set for, a real successful relationship, but if they're not in their mind ready, really ready for a relationship, it's not gonna work regardless. So the thing about it is you need to sit down with that person and ask them, first, when you first meet them and stuff, you need to find out if they got kids, how many baby mamas they got, what do they see themselves in 5 years, and what is their ultimate goal? Are they family oriented people? I mean, the whole nine, because these are the questions that people are not asking, and that's why they getting in these different situations that they in. Like, if I have kids, how do you figure us to be a family? Those different things, because more likely nowadays everybody got kids. I'm an exception to the rule, but because I don't have any kids, but more than likely everybody have kids.
Yeah, Melissa doesn't have
So
kids either.
okay. And so, what I'm saying, everybody really need to sit down at the table, because when me and my fiance, we sat down and we talked about, the different things that we want out of life and what we want in our partner. And you have to really be vulnerable and open up to the person. I mean, it's kind of rough because sometimes you can't really open up to some people, because some people is really butt wipes and they're not really there for the relationship anyway. And then they take your information and take it all down the road and all that and use it against you.
So
But,
let me ask you
chance you
this
take.
question. Not to cut you off, but let me ask you this question.
No.
Did you and your fiance ask each other questions?
Yeah. When we first met, we met at a church camp meeting, and we
Okay.
sat and talked about,
So my next question is, why do women get so offended when men meet them and ask them questions?
That's just probably just their personality, basically. Because I know what you're talking about. You got some females that's just like, it's just all, no matter what question you ask them, it's up in arms. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But,
So why is that from a female's perspective? Because I'm telling, and I'm gonna ask you too, Justin, from some of your experience. I know me being the person that I am, I'm an orator, I can articulate very well. So some of the women that I've had the unfortunate opportunity of meeting, how do you get to know a person if you don't ask questions? And the defenses go straight up, and some of the things that's been said to me was so, man, I can't even describe it. Are you a cop? Why are you asking so many questions? And okay, well, since I can't ask no questions and get to know you, let's just skip past this, get undressed right here in the restaurant, and let's fuck on the table.
Yeah, why not? I think it's an accountability issue. Women don't like to hold them. We're not like holding ourselves accountable today.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
that's some. That's some women, not all women.
Well, we know it's not all women, but
it's a majority of women today that don't feel like they need to be held accountable for things. They like with the children thing, they like to just blame it on they were young and stupid, and like let's see with just a lot of the reasons that I'm a girl, I can't be like the one who
But
can take care of herself.
I think they are right with their answer that they was young and stupid.
Well,
I
we
really
were both
do
young and
believe
stupid
that
too.
was.
You and me were both young and stupid too, but neither one of us had children.
I don't think I can have kids, so I mean, so you figure.
Okay, then I'm the.
But I think because I mean, if you listen to a lot of even males, Everybody blame it on young and stupid. And guess what? We don't come with manuals. So guess what? I really believe they was young and stupid. But you can't keep being stupid. You got to wake up one day and stop sleeping. You got to wake up one day. But I think really it is the people being young and stupid. And then a lot of times they didn't have people there to, show them the way. And a lot of people have grown up and had to raise themselves. So if you don't know something and you being raised up by yourself and you don't find out the answer, you're going to be young and stupid.
Well, my response to that would be, we all were young at some point in time in our life to get to this point that we're at now. But to constantly use that as a crutch through life, I'm not in agreement with it. It's like, when do you learn? When do you start making the right choices? Because as I can't speak as a woman, I can only speak as a man. But when you talk about communications, this is what I believe the problem is. And I'm pretty sure if any of you on this panel tonight have watched social media, when you see some of these guys that interview these women, no matter how good and provocative they look, exotic they look, they're dumb as a box of rocks. They can't articulate, they can't express themselves, and the things that come out their mouths don't make any sense. None. I don't even think if I was a retard that I would be able to understand it. So, and that's not to put women down. It's just to say that a lot of people, when you use that analogy, communication, people just haven't formulated that mindset, and it has nothing to do with education. It's just not in them to communicate.
Maybe just because we're not taught how to. There's people that say that we need to communicate, but when is the best time to communicate the right words? That's something that I think I struggle with daily.
What do you mean
Well,
by that? Struggle with it daily?
When it comes to like relationships, I could be kind of someone who over talks about something. Like I want to drill the point across, but I need to learn how to step back and just say the right thing the first time, and not overthink it and then say it again and say it again and say it again. So I can, people get tired of it. So I get that.
So,
see, the thing about it is people need to learn how to listen and know how to communicate back. Because see, I can talk to you, but if you're not listening, I'm gonna have to keep drilling it because you wasn't listening.
But if we say it
So
right the first time, we don't have to keep drilling it in. We can just
yeah,
assume they
but
got it the first time.
no, what I'm saying is you could say it right the first time, but if he or she is not listening, that's the reason why you got to say it again, because they wasn't listening. Because a lot of times people get it confused on we're talking, but really somebody is talking at you. That's not communicating.
Yeah. And some people can listen, but some people just can't comprehend as well.
And if I can't comprehend, so say like if me and my fiance are talking and he's saying something and I don't understand really exactly what he's saying, and I'm like, babe, I hear what you're saying, but can you like break that down to me, because I'm not understanding what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And then that person, it's not that person's job to get upset. Oh, you don't understand what I'm saying? No, okay, you don't understand what I'm saying. Okay, well, this is what I'm saying.
Some people are too prideful to just do what you just said.
Also, there's a time and place to say things.
okay, so
yes, it is. It is.
So
it is the time and place.
We've talked about relationships. What would be the cons to be in a marriage or to pursue a marriage today? Give me some pros and cons of a marriage, pursuing a marriage today.
Since LaShonda, I think she's the one.
Either perspective, male or female.
Go ahead, you guys. You first.
Excuse me?
The pros?
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, give me some
Go.
pros. What would be the
I think
pros?
there's some tax. I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure, but I think there's some tax pros that go with getting
Financial.
married, and you get a partner. But the cons, as a man, that if she decides that she doesn't want to be with you anymore, she could take half of what you own and be gone.
So
But it all
you feel
depends on, did she help you get that? I can see if you got it all by yourself, but did she help you get that? So she is supposed to leave it half.
well in most cases. Show me. And I'm talking about the consensus say it all. In
Yes,
most
correct.
cases, men that are successful acquired that success on their own.
Now, see, I'm the type of person, if he acquired that on his own, he should leave with that.
Yeah.
Only. See, I'm
But,
not that one. Oh no, I should. No,
but
no. If he came up with that before I got with him, he should leave with that.
hold
Hey,
on.
can we
We're
pose the
talk-
question differently?
we're
Can we
talk-
pose it a little differently, Vermont?
hold on a second, Melissa.
Okay. Okay.
When you say the things that you say like that, you have to remember that you have people watching this show, right? That don't know you, don't know your mindset or your perspective on life. See, you was raised with a father, may he rest in peace, that taught you how to respect a man. Okay. Most women today that's coming up in the world have been raised by other women who were bitter, that were raised by women that had no knowledge. So you're perpetuating this cycle where men are only seen as providers, doormats, or sponsors, or sperm donors. So it's just in one of those categories. So you are an exception to the rule. So you have to kind of say that, if you will, when you talk, because most of the women out here are not trying to be with men just because they enjoy their company, because the man is a gentleman. He's displaying chivalry. A lot of women that I know, a lot of women that I met are when they engage with men, it's for some type of financial gain.
See, the thing about it is I am an exception to the rule because, like, I had want to go out and make it in the singing industry and everything. And I'm currently about to submit my movie that I wrote to Hollywood. And I'm like this, if I had married a man that had kids, I would buy the mom and that kid a house. And the reason why is because if I'm with this man and we're living lavish, I think the kids should live lavish too. And even the mom, for the fact that she had the baby for him. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people say, oh no, that'd be, I wouldn't. Okay, I'm not a confrontational person. I like to deal with people on an individual basis, not, just put them in a box just because they the baby mom.
So all
So
a rising tide for everybody. That makes sense.
Say that
Yeah.
again.
I said a rising tide for everyone. When your tide rises, you want everyone to come up with you.
yeah.
So,
And I mean, and I was dating a guy that had kids, and he would pay $800 in child support. And so one day, the lights and stuff was about to go out or whatever, and he, was about to pay it. And I wasn't upset because I don't want them to be in the dark. I know he paying the $800, but he's the type of person, he gonna take care of his kids regardless. He's gonna, even though he paid $800, he'll even send jackets and all that kind of stuff too. Even though, for the norm, everybody be like, "What? The jackets can come out at $800." True enough, but this is the type of dad he is. He not gonna let them go without, regardless.
okay,
And I'm the same way.
so as a man, what would be my benefit to getting married today?
I mean, depending on who you marry, that's the main thing.
Can we pose the question differently,
Pro,
Vermont?
if you get if it's to the right, if it's to a person that is of the norm, meaning somebody that's rap tight, the pros would be you would be with a lifetime partner, a friend, you know what I'm saying? Not just anybody, somebody that's gonna be a long lasting partner that's gonna create wonderful memories with you, accumulate things with you, um, you know, and that's what we all want is somebody to love us. That's what everybody wants, but you know, you just got these crazy people out here that's doing the most, that's messing it up for everybody because don't nobody trust nobody and everybody want to get somebody before they get them, basically. But you have to be, and if you really want a real relationship, you have to be vulnerable, and both partners have to be vulnerable and allow each other to grow and get close to each other. But the cons of getting married is you have problem after problem if you do not start it off right.
Yeah, that's true. You got to have a solid foundation for any relationship.
And I don't mind saying this. If you start off with God, guess what? It's gonna go right. Because think about this: if the person, if both parties love God, right? Now, when you get together, you put God to be the rock of the foundation of the relationship. You don't want to mess up something that God gave you is each other. So you're not gonna do that person wrong. And then if the man submits to God, the woman is gonna submit to him automatically because he's gonna show those strong characters of what God want him to be.
So if it was as simple as that, as you advocated to being, why isn't so many more people being in relationships?
The reason why they're not being in a relationship because they're not being real. They're being fake.
Okay, so now that we've heard some of the pros and cons, what do you think? What would be your suggestion? Because we're coming close to that time. What would be your suggestion that men give some advice to the men and the women? Thank you. I know you just said God, because if a man submits to God, then you know a woman submit to him. So
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give to women? And then I'll get the advice from men from Justin.
Okay. For women, um, when you go into a relationship, wipe all slates clean. Like, forget about your past relationships. Be vulnerable in that relationship, but don't be a fool. It's different. um, when you go into that relationship, don't look for a man to do something for you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people who just feel like off the bat, oh, he's supposed to do this, he's supposed to do that, he's supposed to do that. No. Go into the relationship, have a conversation of what you want, what he want, and what you're looking for in, you know, at least 5 years, like where you see yourself at in 5 years. And if you don't like something that somebody's doing, let it be known. Don't sit there and hold it back because see, a lot of times people live in a relationship where one side is living when the other side is dying. But if you just be real and be yourself, because that's what my fiance said. I just want you to be yourself. And you know, a lot of times, a lot of people say be yourself, and they really don't mean be yourself, but he really meant be yourself. And I couldn't ask for a better partner because being myself, I can be real. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people need to be yourself. Don't be somebody that you're not because they're going to grow to like that person. That really is not you. And you're not going to be wanting to keep up with that person, that facade for the whole remainder of that relationship. So be yourself and just be real, basically.
What about you, Melissa? Unmute your
Okay, sorry. My advice, I think the same as I gave last time. Just be more considerate towards the men and realize that the world seems to be structured, even though men seem to be the ones that are in charge. It's also structured against them in a lot of ways. So always have that in consideration when we're dealing with them.
You say it men seem to be in charge?
Well, I mean, you guys are supposed to be in charge, the leaders, like, right? You guys are the leaders, right? But the society has changed in ways that like make it easier now for women to feel like they are more in charge. So it's almost like it's stacked against them, the system. Like school, like I said, was the example I gave earlier about school and college and stuff, and how women have more opportunities in school. That's why they're able to graduate at higher rates. And so yeah.
So what advice would you give women that's watching this show as far as pros go when it comes to marriage?
Oh, obviously, you're gonna have somebody who needs you. So that's a big pro. To be needed is like, I think to be useful is a major plus in a relationship for a woman, at least for me at least. I like to be useful. So if you're needed in a marriage or relationship, then you should be useful.
So Justin, from a male's perspective, what advice would you give for any of the young brothers or men out there that's still trying to find their way? What advice would you give them as far as a pro go when it comes to marriage?
Don't go in looking for the perfect woman, because that person does not exist. First of all, just
Damn.
for somebody whose flaws work well with your flaws, and somebody who's a good person who doesn't have ulterior motives. And what a lot of people do nowadays, it's sad that when they find somebody who is a genuinely good person, they use them instead of holding on for their life and try to be the best they could be for that person. But that karma does come back. It will. So you gotta know, you gotta go on with a no ulterior motives and be genuine. You can't just use people and think that it's not going to come back and bite you.
That's good
Mhm.
advice.
So would it be safe in saying from all of you that there is the possibility and hope that we can bridge this gap between men and women, that there's the opportunity that's afforded to both men and women to come together, build a meaningful, pleasant, and constructive relationship? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
Uh-huh.
I believe it.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we're gonna bring this show to a close. It's truly been a pleasure and an honor to have you, Mr. Justin, on, you, Melissa, and LaShonda, as always. I thank you for your support, and I ask for your continued support. If you have friends, followers, reach out to them. Link. Melissa is my tech person. She's one that does my videos and dissect and do all that. So, with that being said, I wish you all a blessed and pleasant night. Be safe wherever you may go in your travels. And I hope I can have you on the show as a guest in the near future. So if you're willing to be a guest and you have any topics that you would like to address, then let me know in advance, and we'll see if we can get them on board. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, sir. Everybody take care. I'm going to end this stream. So let me end this and you can stay in the queue for a second.
Okay, stay
All right.
on, Justin.